We are now 5 wide. Presented by Quick Trip's quality gasoline guarantee. It's just another way Quick Trip has you covered.
All right, 9 to noon, ready to go. Kuhn is in. Billy is in as well. I love it. Our bowl practices continue this week. Good morning, boys. How we doing? Kuhn, how are you?
What's up? Great. Can't complain.
Beautiful. I love it. Armin, good to have you back from
What's up,
another
boys?
wedding weekend.
Another wild wedding weekend. Yes, indeed.
I need the wedding tally for you. How many weddings now in the last 24 months? Think about that.
73.
Think about that. I bet you didn't think, Kuhn, today we'd begin with a discussion of astrophysics.
Is that what we're doing? I'm
Yes.
excited.
Here's why.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about, the Frelick debut, and I thought, okay, right field had been a black hole of production, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when a black hole finally collapses upon itself? It produces a supernova, a burst of brilliant light. So in other words, what happened in right field was a true sporting supernova. Black hole of production. Frelick comes in, has the night of his life. Pretty special night Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah. I like the analogy there. That's fun. What's the echo all about?
That's right. We got that fixed.
We got
So
that fixed.
is it the
Super fast.
greatest Billy debut in Brewer history?
Production-wise, technically, with the 3 hits and 2 RBIs, Giovanni Gallardo had a pretty damn good one. I believe he went 6 innings, 1 run, had a double in there when he came on up.
He was not as hyped, though, was he? Or was he?
Yeah, he was pretty
hyped?
pretty hyped because he was their first real pitching prospect in that run for a good 5 or 6 years because that came after Braun, Fielder, Weeks, Hardy, Hart, and you're looking around like, okay, sweet, we can score, but is everybody just going to put up 8 runs every single time against you? You were kind of the Cincinnati Reds, so you were looking for somebody to give you a little bit of an anchor in that spot, and he was, for all intents and purposes, your number 1 for a couple of years before Greinke came in.
Who else would have been a great debut?
Don't know if it was their first game or first series, but Weeks and Fielder came up in a series. I think it was in 05.
It wasn't against the Twins.
Against the Twins. Yep. I remember that distinctly because there was a bad accident at Miller Park that day where the guy fell off the elevator or escalator. Anyway, the point was, sounds working there.
How do you fall off? I was about to say, how do you fall off an elevator?
Escalator.
Not standing on top of it.
Right. Anyway, they both.
You're riding it wrong.
You walk into an open elevator shaft.
Yeah. No, escalator. They both had homers in a comeback win. It was very exciting. You really felt like these are the 2 guys we heard about for a long time, especially Weeks. I mean, Fielder, we knew we could do his dad was that. Weeks was the big prospect, and they both came up. They had the homers, and okay, we're no longer the dregs of this league. Well, there's something going to be happening.
That was the debut series, wasn't
the
debut?
Yeah,
it wasn't their first game.
Right.
That's where I don't remember if it was Braun's first game, where he goes, I think 2 for 5. He had a triple that almost left the ballpark at Petco. It was in San Diego. It was like a Tuesday night, and it was one of those during school. I still got to stay up and watch the first 3 innings because I had to see him at bat.
How old were you at the time?
Oh, I would have been 11.
Nice.
Yeah, 11 or 12. So right into that heat of the sports fandom, right? When you're just delirious with excitement and success.
What was your lunchbox then? Since you have so much visceral detail. It was Tuesday night. I stayed up late.
Yep, I was an Igloo lunchbox. I had a little bit of red and blue into mine. I was a cold lunch kid at St. Mary's Parish over off of Forest Home. Now, you could get the hot lunch.
Was it a cartoon lunchbox?
No.
Was it a TV show lunchbox? That's what we had as kids growing up.
Yeah, that's cute that you thought I was going to use one of those kids' lunchboxes, all right? I was using the industrial size.
Yeah. Did you have the construction worker one?
100%. Built-in ice pack underneath.
Heavy-ass thermos.
Yep,
Yeah,
for
Josh,
sure.
did you have kids-themed lunchboxes when you were growing up? Armin?
No, I did hot lunch.
I did. Okay. Yeah, it was Alf.
Yeah. You had Alf.
Alf, the show.
Okay.
And Alf was on it with a bunch of food items.
Oh, the show.
And it was holding a big pickle, and that's the reason I wanted it.
I'm pretty sure I had a Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox and a Battlestar Galactica.
Those are worth big money now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're gone.
If
you had one.
You don't have it. I know that.
And by big money, $48 on eBay.
Right. The ones you
vintage rusted metal crap.
We take it to Pawn Stars.
Kuhn, did you have themed lunchboxes as a kid?
I didn't pack lunch. I was a hot lunch kid.
Yep.
Yeah, My mom would give me $10 at the beginning of the week, and I'd have to find a way to make an extra $5 so I could get double lunch. You know, double lunch, Billy. That's what.
Yep,
that's
2
what all the
tickets.
football
Yeah.
players-
Yeah.
I needed double lunch. $1.50 for lunch. Actually, $1.40.
Damn.
You
Yep.
had, you had $10
Okay, that I
a
did
week,
not have.
and your mom and grandma said, "Go ahead and good luck."
Grammy, give me $10 at the beginning of the week. Here's your lunch money, and I would scrape for change. I'd stand at the exit because $1.40 for lunch, not $1.50. So every kid had at least a dime when they came out of there. Can I get your change?
Can I get a little bit of that? Can I get a little bit of that?
10 dimes is $1. All I needed was $1. Actually, all I needed was 80 cents. 280 is what I needed to get the double lunch.
Yeah, that's a good strategy, actually.
I just wanted to clear this up on Ryan Braun. So he went 1 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs in his debut.
In his
game.
first game. Okay.
And
yeah,
then the
yeah.
second game, he
Homer.
went 3 for 4, 2 singles, and his first home run.
Oh,
So
okay.
very similar to the Weeks and Fielder.
Same series, but
outcome.
not the first game.
I was at Dan Jansen Fest when that happened. It was my first years at Dan Jansen Fest turning 21. You know how that lit that can get.
Oh, wow.
On Layton Avenue.
21 years. You've been waiting your whole life
Yeah.
to walk around at Dan Jansen Fest
Okay.
and just wait for somebody to ID
Dan
you.
Jansen Fest was a big festival in Greenfield on Layton Avenue at Conkle Park where they had cover bands and a big deal. It was like a
Food
huge deal.
trucks
And all the kids were there from Greenfield and it was just
And now Armin was cool enough and old enough to buy
Right.
all the kids beer.
Yeah, right.
well,
At
I
21.
never broke the rules.
There's no rules. Those are laws.
Right.
Yeah, we call them laws.
You get my
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
It's the
no
same
doubt.
deal.
Civil-
They're
Armin calls them
above
rules
rules.
because he's never
Rules.
broken one before.
Well, and then a good friend of mine, her parents helped run Dan Jansen Fest, so
This is
we
a great
got
story.
we got to volunteer bartend every year at the beer Miller cart, at the Miller truck.
Did you get to keep your tips?
We kept the tips.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
What was
pull.
the
Gotta
what
have
was the
the
big
tips.
thing at Dan Jansen Fest? Drink until you fall down.
They had big
Okay, all
cover
right.
bands.
I'll
Yeah.
let myself out now.
Yeah.
They had cover bands. They had
Well done.
rides. They had
Was that wrong?
Oh,
of
the
me?
Dan
That was
Jansen
well
joke. Well, at least he came through in the 1000.
I know.
That was one of the
You-
exciting sporting moments.
Of
Of
course
my
it
youth.
was. It to me, it's one of the great sporting allegories of all time. It's not how many times you fall down; it's how many times you get up. And he
And-
got up, and he ended up prevailing, but it was heartbreaking along the way.
And the fact
So
that
at
it
the
was our
Dan
guy.
Jansen Fest, you
Yeah.
get so drunk, you fall down drunk a couple of times, piss yourself, but you get back up again,
And still score at the end of the night.
and you still
Yep.
feel right.
And that's the way to
Figure
go.
out
Yeah, I
a
was going
way.
to say it's more about the scoring, Billy. Yeah, that's
funny
more
'cause
It's
about
about
the-
getting that gold
I
medal.
don't know that it was
So
about
why-
the drinking as much as it was the. I mean, there are going to be girls there. Like we should go.
Yeah, there's gonna
We
be
should
girls there.
definitely
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's have some
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Let's go.
That's your best.
So what
that's what it
happened? What happened to Dan Jansen Fest?
So the funny
it's
thing
still
about it, there
going.
was,
Yeah,
it
there.
is?
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
going.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
But there's no Dan
First-
Jansen hook.
Does
There's
he-
nothing to do with Dan Jansen.
But what is
Oh,
it?
really?
First weekend in June, second weekend in June,
It was always Memorial Day weekend. If I
Memorial Day
remember.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always when it was.
He never makes an appearance.
No, it never. I mean, it was just his name
Have
was
they
on it.
tried?
I
Good
thought
question.
it was at Dan Jansen
Park.
Park.
No, it's at Conkle Park.
I think
Was
the
it
idea
always?
was to try to have it at Dan Jansen
Right.
Park, but that park's just
It's way too
categorically
small.
way too
Yeah.
small.
Does he,
All right.
does he get a good percentage of the take? I mean, for his name being on that?
It's a
Maybe.
pretty
Back
basic
to
name.
back to debuts. Kuhn, do you remember any Packer debut that was just a pow, pow, pow?
Randall Cobb.
There he is.
Mhm.
Randall Cobb, are you kidding me? 108-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, a slant that he took to the house, 2011 Thursday night season opener. Does it get any bigger and better than that? I don't think so.
Yeah.
That was arriving on the stage in a big way. Big stage arrived in a big way.
Well,
Nice.
Brett Favre. I mean, but that was the biggest one.
But you
Thursday
call that his
night-
debut though.
Not his NFL
Thursday night football, Armin.
It was his debut moment. Okay.
Thursday
No,
night
his debut
season
moment
opener
was
for the
throwing
league.
a pick
Armin, it was
right
the
to
season
himself.
opener for the
I
league. He took
understand
it
it. I
108
understand your
yards.
point,
He
but-
broke a record.
Do you realize how wrong what you said is? Are
Why?
we getting that point across?
Why is it wrong?
Okay.
It's not his
He's the
debut.
best Packer
You're
ever.
tearing it up
What
on
do you
him.
mean? He was.
We're talking about debuts in
Debuts.
sports. It wasn't his debut. Well, it was his debut moment. You know when
Suited up the
debut
week
moments
before.
happen, Armin?
It
They
was his
happen in your
debut.
debut.
It was essentially his debut as a
Essentially, is not.
player. He wasn't
the
a
thing.
starter.
Was it his first pass that ever counted, Armin?
No, his first touchdown was to
Oh,
himself.
okay.
But okay, fine.
First
Terrell,
His
completion.
first touchdown.
you know that
was-
same game,
even
Terrell Buckley had his
football,
first game and returned a punt for a touchdown. People forget that was the Terrell Buckley coming out party.
T-
People forget.
Yeah.
People forget about that.
Did
Was
he
the
run
big.
a kickoff and a slant to the house?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't have both. I
Did
love
he
Randall.
break, did he
Randall
break
had
a franchise record for the longest kickoff return ever? Did he do it in front of millions and millions of people? It's probably the most watched regular season game that
No,
season.
I'm just giving other debuts. I'm not ranking them higher or
Okay.
lower.
All right. I got a good feel for the landscape of
About CC.
where this. Okay.
His first game on the trade was
Again, not his
monster.
major league
We're
debut.
doing
a Brewer
debut.
debut.
Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help
Steve,
you.
can you give him the definition of debut like you
I
did
didn't think
Supernova?
we were going to have to do definitions here.
Can you do definition of debut?
That's a Brewer debut.
Well, let me help you. What we're looking for would
No,
be like
Norman's
Freddie
so pissed. He's
Peralta.
so pissed. He's
His
so pissed.
Brewers debut was also his first
Okay.
game in the big leagues. Mother's Day game in Colorado breaks the Brewers record for strikeouts for a rookie. 13 strikeouts in a 5-inning performance.
Who is this?
Freddie Peralta.
That's a day.
That would be
That's
a
a
debut.
debut.
That's what we're looking for.
Right.
Armin. In Armin's defense, the
Oh,
CC.
please.
This is most ridiculous.
In Armin's defense, he was talking about CC's Brewer debut.
Of course.
Sure.
Oh, well, guess what? Let's look at the series debut that happened this weekend. Why not just
Josh,
shorten it even more?
no.
Because it's so dumb. We're not
No,
talking
Josh.
about this.
Oh, weekend debut.
Yeah.
Congrats on your semantics. Put a
Wednesday
banner up.
This
debut.
is what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is the new toy.
Nooner Day debut.
Right. Yeah.
Coming up in 2 days.
What I'm looking forward to is the new toy effect in sports.
Right.
New toy, you get to play with it for the first time. So CC was a new toy. Yeah, I'd been in the majors, but he was our new toy for the first time.
Sure. Okay. I'll tolerate that.
So
one.
that's
No,
kind of
really
the
No, you
Tolerate
can't
that.
tolerate
I'll
it.
tolerate it.
We are literally
Booze,
talking
boo,
about
liar.
league debuts, career debuts. That's what we're talking about.
Well,
here.
we could talk about both. They are two different things. There's
Yeah,
no
we can.
question about
We
that.
can.
It's a really exciting
One
night,
is
though.
better than the other.
What a night! I mean,
What that was. I mean,
what a ball player
Late
too. The way he
December back in
moves,
63.
he moves like a ball player. You know, he was a football player as well in high school, and got offered a college scholarship at BC
Yep.
in football. So he's just stud athlete, moves, walks, got the swagger.
He's one of the best sports stories, I think, of his generation.
Because
When you talk about his dominance on the field, his personal struggles that he was very, very open with,
Mhm.
then to come back and pitch again in what was kind of a smaller role, right? A less glorified role. And his final game, I believe, was one of his better starts that he had in those final couple of years with the Yankees.
elaborate on the personal struggles for those that don't know.
It's real alcoholism that CC battled with for years upon years and talked about it, where he'd be getting absolutely lit up pretty much every single night.
You're talking CC. Okay. I was on
CeCe.
Freelick. I was like, wait a minute. Okay.
No.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, so CC was a great rental, right?
yes.
Yeah, but this all started because Armin talked about his debut.
Yes, I did.
But he's not going to the Hall of Fame without his run with the Brewers.
It's
Interesting.
a great,
I
it's a
agree
great
with that,
question.
Billy.
Yeah, I think
I agree with that.
people still forget he pitched on short rest for a full month, not like one start on 3 days rest.
Right.
He was on 3 days rest for a full month. Like that was his role, and he took it on.
Just anchored.
Didn't he have
everything.
a game? Didn't he have a complete game that he also got the only run? I swear
Something
that
near
happened.
in a home run that he had. He should have had a no
It's an
hitter.
awesome stat if that's true.
Like it was all him. I'm gonna
Should
look
have had
that
a
up.
no hitter against Pittsburgh, where
Unfortunately,
he
we
throws the
cannot
ball up
confirm
the
nor
right
deny.
field line, which
Yeah.
was clearly an error, but they gave a base hit because Pittsburgh wasn't touching him that day.
All right. So let's talk about the upcoming week for the Packers, Kuhn.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
What's
You
the
want me to talk about
first?
it?
What's the first thing? Yes.
Rookies and quarterbacks reported this
No,
weekend.
no,
Shareholders meeting today.
know.
Mark Murphy
I know.
presser. Goody, Matt LaFleur pressers tomorrow 9/9/20.
Give me a second.
Conditioning test Wednesday. First practice
I don't need
Thursday
the
in underwear.
schedule.
I
need the
thought that's what you
schedule.
said. Let's
I was
talk about
about
the
to-
schedule this
And
week.
I was about to ask you a question. What's the first thing you're going to hone into as a guy who played in the league and covers the league now? What's the thing you're going to be focused on the most for this first week? First week.
Just how guys look the first week. Who comes in great shape?
Which guys you most looking at?
Well, every single one.
Well,
Specifically,
pick a
hey,
couple.
I'll be specific here on this one. AJ Dillon. It's been a known thing the last few years. AJ Dillon with those big, enormous quads that he rolls with, nicknamed both of them. When he comes into training camp, he normally takes it. Matt LaFleur is known to run him a little extra during camp to get his, seasoned legs into him. And that happens a lot with running backs, especially those that like to pump the iron. They actually got to trim down quite a bit before they're at midseason form. That's generally why you see A.J. Dillon doing a little bit better mid-season to the end of the season. I want to see this is a big year for A.J. Dillon, especially with NFL running backs, having a Zoom call to talk and start some grassroots
collaborating on how to get paid.
This is a big year for him. It really is. And he needs to prove that he's worth money to somebody. And even if that somebody's not the Packers, he needs to prove it now. Year 4 for him, he needs to come out right from the jump and be at midseason for him. So I'm interested to see how he looks. Luke Musgraves is my most important rookie, because to have some impact at the tight end position will only help the wide receivers in the run game. So I'm looking at him very specifically. And then Billy will love this, the right tackle position on offense, between Josh Nijman, Zach Tom, maybe a flyer on somebody. Who's going to play there? Who's going to try and lock down that right side for Jordan Love? Because the left side, we feel pretty comfortable about.
187, 186 carries for Dillon the last 2 years. What's a good number for this year?
225.
That's it. So not much more.
Well, if you do much more than that, then you're really hogging into Aaron Jones's touches, which I never like to do.
Yeah. And he's got to be more productive early in the year, I think, Dillon. He really wasn't as productive until he got later in the year. I think that's a big factor, too. You're not going to get as many carries if you're not productive, right?
Well, and it depends on how much they force feed it to him. I mean, depends on how much, as I continually hear, they are going to lean in on this ground game. They are going to continually run the football.
Listen, I think
I'll believe that when I see it in today's NFL.
This season's for the Packers is going to have to be a little run centric. It's going to have to be Billy. I think we all know that. And I think 50 more carries for Dillon. What's that, about 3 more carries a game throughout 7? 3 more carries a game for A.J. Dillon. I think that won't impact Aaron Jones's touches. I think you can still keep his touches high, especially with wanting to focus on running the ball.
Most of the teams that are the closest to a true 50-50 balance have running quarterbacks, or they run exotics with their quarterbacks to get to that balance.
They scheme ways to use all 53 yards. You don't have get it. And we all do. We all know that their Packers are going to have to. And guess what? All of their 31 teams know that they have to run the football. In today's game and with today's quarterback coordinating, these guys want to throw the football. What is going to get Matt LaFleur more praise and more money and more security in his job? Jordan Love performing. Yeah. You don't see that with Aaron Jones toting it 300 plus times.
Yeah. All right, Armin, real quick at the Waukesha County Fair, Warrant, cherry pie, and haven't been too far away. Good 2-song shot there. Perfect. Fit the bill. Also, I did get some funnel cake, Coon, so that's off my list of 100 things to do for the summer. Got a big old pile of awful food for you. Delicious, though. And I go to order the funnel cake and a Diet Coke. Guess what the number was when it came back to me?
$27.
$23.
Yeah.
At Waukesha County Fair?
Yeah. I go, whoa,
jeez,
whoa,
that's
whoa.
onerous, isn't it?
I know. The economics of fried dough have not changed that much over 20 years. I said, whoa. And I looked at the sign. I go, says funnel cake 10. Soda 4. How do we get to 23?
Yeah, how'd that happen?
He goes, well, you got the birthday cake version, which is a $5 upcharge with the sprinkles on it.
$5.
You got hit with all the fees. You got hit with all the fees.
$5.
We got a stove fee. We got a grease fee.
And then
we got a burn fee.
He gave me the commemorative plastic cup edition, which was $8, not $4.
What do they commemorate?
How are you gonna remember it?
Flim flam, bamboozled up and down, and
Did you say flim flam? Thank you, ma'am.
Flim flam, thank you, ma'am. And I didn't want to sit there and fight it and send it back because then I look like
because you actually felt impressed when the kid said, "Yeah, actually, buddy, here, you want me to go through the itemized receipt? Birthday cake edition. Those sprinkles. Hope that was worth an extra $5.
Did you order the birthday cake edition?
You better keep the souvenir.
Did you order the commemorative cup?
No, that he just stealthily.
You said large.
You just said large. You said
"Oh,
large.
sweet.
And large was the souvenir cup, probably, right?
All large Farva.
I like that kid. Liter of cola.
$15 for
did have a $6 corn on the stick, which was the worst corn I've ever had. I wouldn't feed it to a horse.
$6 for corn?
Did you dunk
what
it
are you
in
seeing,
a can of butter?
No, I see Warrant.
What is so expensive?
Or the remaining remnants of Warrant, which was about 2/3 of the band.
Does Waukesha County Fair allow carry-ins? Can I bring my own funnel cake in from home?
I think it's over now. I don't know. Is it still going on this week or is it done?
Jeez, man, $23.
But hey, you know
Zabe
what?
comes to Wisconsin and rips the fair. Yeah.
Oh, Rob.
Wait a minute.
He said
Well,
the
because
band was good.
he already ripped through your childhood favorite fair, right? Last time you were out.
Yeah, he hated the York Fair. Now he hates the Louisville Fair. Are you going to do the Pulaski Polka Fest? Are you going to do that too? Come on, Jake, make your way up.
Listen, I never said I hated the fair. I said I had a good time seeing the remnants of Warren, and I enjoyed the show, even though it was pricey.
Just don't say anything about Hodag Fest. You will get run out of this.
That's true.
Oh, so
Don't you do it.
Harmony Donuts and Summerfest Abe were a better deal. We got the family pack. Remember that?
We killed the
For like
donuts.
$20 for like 40.
Harmon and I in line accidentally. We accidentally came
Accidentally,
together.
they fell on top of the donuts.
So funny how that is. All right, Ted,
Whoops,
you're in.
got a donut pregnant.
9 to noon is next. Boys, have at it. Thanks for listening, Josh. Great job as always. We will see everyone tomorrow.